Your inner conversations are not harmless musings. They are not idle chatter. They are the seeds of reality. Everything you experience in your external world is born out of the conversations you hold silently within yourself. These unseen dialogues construct the structure of your life. They form the blueprint from which all things emerge. What you whisper to yourself day and night becomes flesh. This is the great secret hidden in plain sight. Most people believe they must speak things into the outer world to create change. They pray aloud. They beg. They complain. They argue and explain. But the true act of creation happens in silence, in the stillness of your own mind. That is where the word becomes flesh. Each time you say to yourself, "I can't," you shape a world where you won't. Each time you say, "No one loves me," you walk into a scene where that becomes true. These are not figures of speech. They are laws, fixed laws of consciousness. They do not waver. They do not judge. They simply bring forth what you consent to as true. What are you saying to yourself right now? Do you wake in the morning thinking, "Another day, another problem"? Do you walk through life rehearsing fears, repeating doubts, remembering old hurts? These are not harmless thoughts. They are the architects of your tomorrow. They will paint the walls of your future. They will populate it with the very things you dread. If you want to know what you have been saying inwardly, look around. Your environment, your relationships, your finances, all are echoes of your inner monologue. Not some of it, all of it. The world is a mirror, faithfully reflecting the tone of your internal dialogue. You cannot hold a conversation of lack within and expect to meet abundance without. You cannot argue for your limitations inwardly and expect freedom outwardly. And so, the work is simple, though not always easy. Change the inner speech. Begin a new conversation with yourself, one that supports your ideal. If you desire love, say within, "I am deeply loved." If you desire wealth, say, "I live in endless supply." Do not wait to see it before you believe it. Speak it inwardly until it takes root. The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. So speak only that which you wish to see reflected. Your conversations must match your desire, not your current condition. Do not talk about what is. Talk from what you want to be. This is not denial. This is alignment. And the world will adjust itself to match your new tone. This is the foundation. Before all techniques, before all manifestations, before all results, there is speech. Not the kind that others hear, the kind only you do. Guard it. Shape it. Honor it. Because your inner voice is the author of your life story. And it always writes what you say. What you whisper within is far more powerful than what you proclaim aloud. Your world is not shaped by the external words you speak, but by the tones and beliefs you carry in the secret conversations within. It is there, in that quiet theater of thought, that your assumptions are formed, rehearsed, and repeated. And assumptions, once persisted in, harden into fact. You may believe you are imagining passively, but every time you revisit a scenario in your mind, you are sowing a seed. The nature of that seed, whether rooted in fear or faith, will dictate what must appear. This is not speculation. This is the law. If you desire to change your world, you must begin by changing your habitual inner monologue. The voice you hear when you are alone, when you are silent, is the one creating your life. When you silently argue with someone, you keep the conflict alive. When you inwardly congratulate another, you bless both them and yourself. Every imagined conversation, no matter how fleeting, is either lifting your world or lowering it. You may forget the dialogue, but your subconscious does not. It receives the message as truth, and from that truth it constructs your experience. And so, your life becomes the visible echo of the words you keep saying to yourself. You must learn to observe without resistance and revise without fear. If a dialogue arises within you that contradicts your desire, do not suppress it, replace it. If it insists on speaking limitation, gently guide it toward a new assumption. Say within yourself, "This is not the voice of my ideal. I now assume a new tone." That new tone, of peace, of abundance, of love, must then become your dwelling place. Return to it again and again until it feels like home. When your inner world becomes saturated with the feeling of your wish fulfilled, outer changes become inevitable. They must appear, for they are summoned by law. Consider this. If you desire wealth, but continually think, "I never have enough," you are not desiring, you are declaring. If you seek love, yet constantly rehearse old heartbreaks or rejection, you are not preparing for love, you are preparing for more loneliness. If you long for health, but mentally revisit symptoms, you are not healing, you are rehearsing illness. Imagining creates reality. What you accept as true in imagination becomes true in the world. You must therefore live inwardly, as the person who already has. Your speech must align with that version of you. And as it does, the mirror of life reflects it back to you faithfully. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to speak from the state of having, not wanting. If you want companionship, begin speaking inwardly from the state of being adored and cherished. Let the tone of your thoughts reflect that you are already loved deeply. If you seek success, hear yourself being congratulated. Feel the inner thrill of being seen, recognized, and rewarded. Do not wait for the world to confirm it. Speak it within, and the world will follow. This is not delusion. This is creation. When you say to yourself, "It is done," you must then continue to speak from that finality. That means no more begging thoughts, no more inner pleading or doubt. Only the tone of one who already possesses. Even if the facts deny it, you must deny the facts. Hold to the inner tone, and the outer world will be forced to match it. It may take time or appear suddenly, but it must come. For the law of assumption is impersonal and unwavering. It answers only to what you persistently accept as true. Some will say, "But I cannot help what I think." And yet you are not asked to control all thoughts, only to guide them. As you train your inner ear to recognize the voice of your fulfilled desire, the old voices will fade. As you commit to this new inner story, the outer story begins to rewrite itself, not by force, but by faithful assumption. You do not have to know how. You only have to know who, and that who is the one you choose to be within. That choice is the seed of all manifestation. Your inner world is the cause, your outer world the effect. To reverse this order is to walk in darkness. But to place your attention back on the self within and to speak as though it were already so is to walk in light. Let your conversations be deliberate, loving, and aligned with your desire. Let your words match the life you are ready to live. And soon the world will have no choice but to echo your new tone. That echo is your harvest, and it is always faithful. There is nothing more influential in the shaping of your world than the persistent tone of your inner conversation. Not the words you speak aloud to others, nor the mask you wear before the world. What determines the course of your life is what you are saying quietly, continually to yourself. Your inner speech is not mere thought. It is not idle noise. It is the active shaping tool of your reality. Every time you imagine a conversation, whether reliving an old one or anticipating a new one, you are planting something. And all things planted in consciousness must grow. So, examine the nature of these silent exchanges. Are you defending yourself, justifying your position, replaying hurts, or expecting resistance? Then you are rehearsing a reality where conflict and struggle are certain to appear. If you desire harmony in your life, you must not wait for the world to offer it. You must create it inwardly first. Imagine speaking gently to others. Imagine being heard and understood. Hear their kind response. Feel the ease of mutual respect. If you persist in that inner drama, then the outer scene must follow its direction. Let us say you long for success. Then you must no longer rehearse failure. You must not mentally argue for why things never work out for you. Instead, you must speak inwardly, as one who is already in possession of the very thing they once longed for. You must let your thoughts be conversations of victory. Let them sound like the voice of someone who knows they are supported, guided, celebrated. You must begin to expect congratulations. Hear others praise your work. Feel the weight of accomplishment already resting in your hands. If your desire is for love, do not dwell in the state of being unloved. Do not listen to the inner voice that repeats stories of being forgotten or overlooked. Change the conversation. Begin to speak within as someone who is cherished, as someone who is chosen. Imagine the warmth of a hand held in yours. Imagine a voice saying, "I am so lucky to have found you." That is the kind of inner speech that gives form to what you call your life. If healing is your aim, then you must abandon the inner conversations of illness. You must give up discussing your symptoms with yourself. The body responds to what you believe to be true, and belief is born from repetition. Begin to say within, "I feel well. I feel light. I move freely." Let the conversation be filled with thanksgiving, not complaint. Speak to your body as one would speak to a beloved companion. It hears you more clearly than you know. The great secret is this: your inner speech does not describe your world, it creates it. And it continues to do so whether you are aware of it or not. You can never escape the creative power of your assumptions, for you are always assuming something. The only question is, are you assuming wisely? Let your assumptions rise to meet the life you desire. Let your conversations echo the state you wish to occupy. Let your inner dialogue become the sound of your fulfilled self. And soon the world will mirror back the truth of your most persistent speech. Your inner conversations are powerful, but they must be filled with feeling. Feeling is the force that breathes life into your silent words. Without feeling, words are empty vessels. They lack the power to stir the unseen into existence. The feeling you cultivate within must be that of the wish fulfilled. You must not only say, but truly feel the reality you desire. This feeling is the secret alchemy of creation. But how does one feel what is not yet visible? How do you hold the feeling of wealth if the bank account is empty? How do you feel love if you are alone? How do you feel health when you feel weak? The answer is found in imagination and faith combined. You must imagine the end result as vividly as possible. You must see, hear, and most importantly, feel the state of having. This is not pretending. It is knowing beyond doubt that what you desire is already yours. Imagine holding a letter from a loved one. Feel the warmth of their handwriting. Hear their voice speaking the words of love. Let that feeling fill your entire being. You have not yet seen this person, but your inner conversation has prepared your heart to receive them. This is how feeling guides manifestation. By immersing yourself in the feeling first, you set the invisible wheels turning. If you desire financial abundance, feel the freedom of choice. Feel the security that comes from having more than enough. Feel the gratitude for opportunities you have not yet seen. Do this consistently in your inner dialogue. Do this with faith that your feeling is a signal to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the faithful servant who acts on your assumptions without question. It knows only what feeling you give it to hold. When you struggle with feeling, start small. Recall moments when you felt even a glimpse of your desire fulfilled. Return often to those moments in your inner conversations. Build upon them patiently. The more you feel the reality inwardly, the sooner the outer world aligns. Feeling is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. Cross it daily with confidence. Remember, feeling precedes manifestation. It is the secret current beneath the surface of your silent speech. Without feeling, your words are empty. With feeling, your words become commands to the creative power within. Therefore, cultivate feeling as carefully as you cultivate your thoughts. They work hand in hand. Together, they forge the reality you experience. This is the essence of the creative process. Inner conversations charged with feeling shape all that appears outside. No matter what your current circumstances, you have access to this power. Use it with faith and patience. Persist in feeling the end, and the world will follow. This is the way of conscious creation. To maintain the power of your inner conversations, you must hold fast to your assumption. Assumption is the foundation upon which your imagined realities rest. It is not enough to imagine a desire once or twice. You must assume it is true and live within that assumption. This assumption is a state of consciousness you embody inwardly. It colors your inner speech with certainty and conviction. Without this steady assumption, your words become hollow and ineffective. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled with confidence. Hold the thought steadily, as though you are already experiencing your desire. This does not mean ignoring the present reality. It means holding your focus on the state you wish to be in, regardless of outer appearances. You do not deny what is seen. You simply choose to give your attention to what you wish to manifest. Your inner conversations must reflect this choice consistently. Persistence is the key to sustaining this assumption. When doubt or contradiction arises in your mind, do not yield to them. Instead, return to your chosen assumption. Refuse to let inner speech stray into opposition. The mind will resist change at first, as if defending an old habit. But as you persist, the new assumption becomes natural. This naturalness is your new reality taking shape within. Imagine the difference between a visitor and a resident. Doubt and fear are visitors in your mind. They come uninvited and demand attention. Assumption is the resident. It is the voice that belongs in the house of your consciousness. By welcoming assumption and refusing the visitor's claims, you take control. Your inner conversations become loyal expressions of your chosen state. This loyalty in your inner speech is what makes change possible. It causes the unseen world to rearrange itself. This rearrangement will sooner or later manifest visibly. It obeys your persistence, not your impatience. Keep your inner conversations faithful, and the outer world cannot help but obey. Your assumed state is the invisible mold for your new experience. Without steadfast assumption, there is no shape for manifestation. Assumption is not wishful thinking. It is a firm belief born from imagination and feeling. It is a conscious choice to dwell in the end result now. This choice is an act of faith, not force. Faith quietly whispers, I am. Force shouts in desperation and doubt. Only faith builds. Let your inner conversations be the voice of faith. Speak as one who already lives the reality they desire. Feel the assurance that you are heard by the unseen power within. Hold this feeling steadily, as a lighthouse stands firm against the storm. The world will find you by your steady light. No storm can extinguish what is truly assumed within. Your assumption is your creative throne. It is where you reign as the author of your experience. Return often to this throne through your inner conversations. Sit there with confidence and peace. From this place, your world will shape itself without fail. Awareness is the silent guardian of your inner conversations. Without awareness, your mind drifts aimlessly, allowing old patterns to repeat. To change your world, you must first become aware of what you say to yourself. You must observe the tone and content of your inner dialogue without judgment. This is not to criticize, but to understand. Awareness creates the space where change becomes possible. It reveals the hidden assumptions that control your reality. When you catch a thought or conversation that does not serve your desire, do not push it away harshly. Instead, acknowledge it gently, then choose a new direction. This choice is an act of conscious creation. You are the master of your inner world, and each moment presents an opportunity to rewrite your story. By bringing awareness to your inner speech, you begin to shape it with intention. This transforms imagination from a fleeting fancy into a steady power. Imagine a gardener tending to a delicate seedling. Without attention, it withers or is choked by weeds. With care, it grows strong and flourishes. Your inner conversations are like this seedling. Awareness is the care that protects and nurtures them. Each time you notice an unhelpful thought, you pull a weed. Each time you introduce a new, aligned thought, you water the seedling. Awareness also sharpens your ability to persist in assumption. It catches the moments when doubt or old habits attempt to rise. Awareness reminds you to return to your chosen conversation. It does not scold, but quietly directs your attention back. This gentle return is where transformation happens. Repeated often, it reshapes your inner world and thus your outer life. With practice, you become fluent in your inner language. You learn to speak only what you wish to see manifest. You become sensitive to the subtle shifts of feeling that accompany your thoughts. This sensitivity guides you toward the conversations that serve your desire. You no longer allow contradictory words to linger. Instead, you choose the ones that affirm and build your new reality. Awareness makes you present to the power within. It reveals that the world outside is a mirror reflecting what you hold inside. As you change your inner speech, the mirror gradually changes its image. Your world does not change by force, but by the steady shift of consciousness. This shift begins with simple awareness and continues with faithful assumption. Know that the power to observe is itself a gift of the creative spirit. It allows you to reclaim control from unconscious habit. Use this gift wisely. Let your awareness be the light that illuminates your inner conversations. Let it guide you toward the reality you wish to experience. Your inner conversations are shaped not only by what you think, but by where you place your attention. Attention is the engine that powers your inner speech. Without focused attention, your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. To direct your inner conversations, you must first discipline your attention. This discipline is the key to mastery over your mental world. Notice how your mind often drifts to old stories and familiar complaints. These are habits ingrained by repetition. Mastery begins with interrupting these automatic patterns. When you catch yourself in unproductive inner speech, gently but firmly shift your attention. Replace old conversations with new ones aligned to your desire. This requires vigilance and patience. Each act of redirection strengthens your creative power. By choosing where to place your attention, you choose the conversations you feed. Focused attention magnifies the feeling behind your assumptions. It brings clarity to your imagined scenes, making them vivid and convincing. Without attention, feeling fades and imagination loses force. Therefore, attention is the bridge between imagination and feeling. It fuses them into a coherent inner speech that commands reality. When you master attention, you cease being a passive recipient of circumstance. You become an active participant in your creative process. You decide which inner conversations to nurture and which to dismiss. This power is your birthright. Use it wisely and consistently. In doing so, you become the conscious author of your life story. Mastery of inner conversations is not a fleeting skill. It is a lifelong practice of conscious attention and deliberate speech. Each day offers new opportunities to refine your inner dialogue. As your mastery grows, so too does your command over the world you experience. You learn to hold your desired state with ease and grace. Your inner speech becomes a steady beacon guiding all that you see. This is the art of conscious creation. It is the practice of choosing your inner conversations with care and love. It is the quiet power that shapes mountains and moves oceans. Through attention, feeling, and imagination, you craft your destiny. Be vigilant, be patient, and master the conversations within. You are not separate from the reality you experience. You are its silent creator, speaking life into form through your inner conversations. This power is always with you, ready to respond to your direction. To live consciously as this creator is to hold your inner speech with care and faith. It means knowing that every thought and feeling you entertain is shaping your world. This knowledge is not a burden, but a gift. It frees you to choose and to create deliberately. Living as the creator demands consistency in your inner conversations. Not just in moments of hope or desire, but at all times. Your mental dialogue must reflect the state of the fulfilled wish, the peace of the fulfilled desire. When doubt arises, gently return your mind to your chosen state. When distractions come, steer your thoughts back to your inner speech of certainty. This steady practice builds an unshakable foundation. It is the bedrock upon which all manifestations rest. Know this truth. Your outer world is a mirror reflecting your inner world. To change the reflection, change the inner image. Do this not only with thought, but with feeling and attention. Let your inner conversations be the voice of your true desire, already fulfilled. Hold this voice high and clear, without wavering. As you do, you align yourself with the infinite creative power within, and the world responds accordingly. Remember that this creative process is natural. It flows from your own consciousness, from the deep well of imagination and feeling. You need not force it. You need only assume and persist quietly within. With patience, your inner conversations shape the unseen until it becomes seen. Your reality is formed by what you repeatedly hold as true within. Make this truth your guiding principle. There will be moments of waiting and uncertainty. These are not signs of failure. They are part of the unfolding process, the gestation before birth. Do not surrender your inner conversations to doubt or fear. Hold steadfast to your imagined state with feeling and faith. The unseen will conspire to bring your inner speech to form. Trust this divine unfolding. Live now as the person who has what you desire. Speak inwardly from that place of fulfillment and gratitude. Feel the reality of your wish already completed. Your inner conversations will then radiate confidence and power. They will draw to you the circumstances that match this state. You become a magnet for your own imagined world. This is the highest form of creation. Embrace your role as the conscious creator of your life. Let your inner conversations be sacred and purposeful. Remember that every word spoken inwardly shapes the form your world takes. Speak with love, faith, and certainty. This is the path to manifesting the life you desire. Your inner speech is the key. Use it wisely and watch your world transform.